Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. What if I told you that the Steelers are potentially on the brink of a seismic move that could redefine their defensive front and seriously elevate their chances of making a deep playoff run? Yeah, I know, we're all used to hearing about big trades and off-season shakeups, but this one seems to have the makings of a real game changer. Rumors are swirling that the Kansas City Chiefs, currently battling through a bit of a rebuild after a 6-6 start, might be looking to move one of their biggest stars in the middle of the season, and that star is none other than Chris Jones. The chatter suggests that the Chiefs could be open to trading Chris Jones, a dominant defensive tackle and an all-pro talent, in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 draft. That's a pretty bold move, especially considering Jones's caliber. The Chiefs, with their playoff aspirations, are sitting with just about $2.7 million in cap space, and they've made it clear that their priorities right now are shoring up their offensive line, which has allowed nearly 232 points this season, an average of almost 20 points per game, and focusing on extensions for Patrick Mahomes while trying to rebuild their defense's reputation after a few shaky years. But here's the thing, Chris Jones is a game wrecker. This season, he's been showing exactly why he's considered one of the best at his position. Through 2025, he's racked up 30 sacks, 20 tackles, 10 solo, 10 assists, and boasts an incredible PFF grade of 89. For his EPA per pressure sits at 0.25, meaning he's creating chaos when rushing the passer. Sure, injuries have limited his snaps. He's only played 65% of the games due to knee issues, but when he's on the field, he's a difference maker. His career stats are eye-popping: 75 sacks, 243 tackles, 12 forced fumbles, and an average PFF grade of 91. 2, he's an elite disruptor against both the run and pass, allowing just 85. 6 yards per game against the run and defending 2 yards after contact per attempt. Remember that Week 2 game against the Bengals? Jones had 2 sacks alone, bringing his season total to 16 sacks in total, which is outstanding. Comparing him to some of the top defensive tackles in the league, many see him as a player who can elevate any defensive front, and frankly, he would do wonders for the Steelers' defense, especially considering how much they rely on their interior pressure to set up their edge rushers. Now, let's talk about the Steelers' perspective, because that's what really gets us excited. Currently sitting at 6-6 with 289 points allowed this season, the Steelers are in the thick of a playoff race, and adding a player like Jones could be the catalyst they need to push over the top. With key injuries like Daunt Kent on IR with an ankle injury and Kyle Duggar dealing with a hand injury, Pittsburgh's internal pressure has taken a hit. Adding Jones would instantly boost their interior pass rush by around 20%, and that's a huge boost for a team that's been relying heavily on T.J. Watt's relentless rush to generate pressure. The impact on the run defense would also be significant, dropping the opponent's average points per game from 24.1 to around 18.5, making the Steelers much more formidable against both the run and pass. This move could also have a ripple effect on the team's overall performance. Picture the Steelers' offense gaining more time to operate, with a more reliable defense that can close out games and force turnovers. The stats suggest that with Jones, the Steelers could see an additional 8 sacks, plus around 5 more turnovers, which could swing many close contests in their favor. And let's not forget, the playoff picture in the AFC is tight, especially with the Ravens at 6-6 and the Steelers still very much alive. If they can secure Jones, their odds of making a deep playoff run skyrocket, perhaps increasing their Super Bowl odds from +8-0 to a more respectable +3-0. Looking at the bigger picture, this isn't just about one player or one season. It's about shaping the future of the Steelers' defense. Jones, with his disruptive ability, could be the centerpiece of Pittsburgh's era of dominance, blending that old-school steel toughness with a modern, relentless pass rush that's hard to block. It's reminiscent of the legendary trades and moves that have historically shifted legacies, like when Khalil Mack was sent to the Bears in 2022, which instantly revitalized their pass rush and helped them punch above their weight for a while. And let's be honest, the Chiefs, with their current cap situation and roster priorities, are in a tough spot. They're trying to keep their window open with Mahomes, but their defense, especially against the run and deep passes, has struggled at times this year. Their decision to prioritize offensive extensions while being cautious about their cap space indicates they may lean towards rebuilding or retooling the defense for the future, even if it means parting with a superstar like Chris Jones. That's where the Steelers come in, ready to pounce on that opportunity. For Pittsburgh, this isn't just a short-term fix. It's about establishing a new standard, a new era where they can consistently compete at the highest levels. The addition of Jones would also send a message to the rest of the league. This team is serious about contending, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. It's about building a roster that can sustain success, with a defense that can control games and a young offense that's growing under the leadership of Kenny Pickett. Now, I could go on about the potential impact of this trade for days. It's not just about the stats or the immediate boost. It's about the culture shift, the confidence it would inspire in the locker room, and the edge it would give Pittsburgh in crucial moments. The division rivals better watch out, because if the Steelers land someone like Jones, they're not just sneaking into the playoffs, they're making a statement. And of course, all of this hinges on whether the Chiefs decide to pull the trigger. The offseason is still a few months away, but if the whispers are true, we could be looking at one of the most significant trades in recent NFL history. The Steelers, with their young core, rising defense, and now the possibility of landing a game-changer like Chris Jones, are positioning themselves for a serious playoff push, and who knows, maybe another Super Bowl run. It's an exciting time for Steelers fans, and I promise you we'll be watching every development closely. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you guys think? Is Chris Jones the missing piece that takes the Steelers from a solid playoff contender to a legit Super Bowl favorite? Would you be excited to see him wearing black and gold? I know I would, and I believe this could be the move that defines the Steelers' future. The team has been building through the draft and free agency, but sometimes, to reach that championship level, you need a splash move, something that changes the narrative overnight. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. Whether it's trades, injuries, game analysis, or draft prospects, you can count on us to keep you in the know. This is what being part of the Steelers family is all about, staying passionate, informed, and ready to support our team no matter what. Let's keep that fire burning and gear up for what could be an extraordinary chapter in Steelers history.